10-minute segment, supposed to start at 7 o'clock, and it's already 7:03, so I have exactly 7 minutes to get done what I need to get done. Perfect. I can learn from Father Eric and Father Reddy. Deacon Reddy, I'm sorry. As you know, the topic tonight is the changes that are going to be coming to the Mass the first Sunday of Advent. And they've been sort of long in coming. I'm sure many of you already know what they are, but first a little bit of background. You might remember back in the 60s, some of you were old enough to remember what was going on pre-60, and that's when the Mass was pretty much in Latin. The priest would come out and say, Dominus Vobiscum, you know, and the little altar boy would say, Acum Spiritu Tuo, and everybody around the world did about the same thing. And then comes Vatican II, and lots of things were discussed and talked about, as you all know. And many things actually were thought about to be changed and to add and to make things better. And of course, overall, everything was better. But one of the things was they wanted the Mass, or they allowed the Mass to be translated into the vernacular, into English in the English-speaking countries, and Italian and German and whatnot. And so that process went on, and at a time somewhat later after Vatican II, then we all been practicing the Mass in English. And the Mass in English we're all accustomed to. Now, they've said, whoa, wait a minute, we're going to make some changes. And the reason for that change is really to get more specific back to the Latin that was used pre-Vatican II, and to really try to enhance the meaning of some of these words and terminologies to make the Mass more holy, to make the Mass, to make what is said in the Mass more true to the actual Bible text that's being quoted and so on. Without trying to get into any of that, because it would take a lot. It would run out all of my time. We have in the church, in the administration building, a little booklet. It's quite good. It costs $4. If you've got $4, I even brought some along that you can buy tonight if you wish. And you can read through a very nice little summary. As you can see, it's not a very big book, of the things that are going to be changed, and some reasoning why. And this particular little purchase that you can make for $4 also includes a CD. And before the officers' meeting, when we decided that we were going to do this, and that officers' meeting was just last week, and we decided that this would be a good thing for the Something's Catholic 10 minutes. I had not listened to this. And Ted had mentioned, had you listened to it? And I said, well, no, but I will. And I did. And this is fantastic. The guy that put this together, it's 1 hour. 1 hour, approximately. And he does a very, very, very nice job of getting you enthused about the fact that, yeah, there are some changes made, but they're not just for the hell of it. They're for the reasons that are good. And he goes through a lot of those. I can't anywhere compare it trying to do that. But you guys, the Knights of Columbus, in my humble opinion, need to be a force in making sure that this change, which, you know, people don't like change. Change is tough. A lot of times people just say, I don't want to do anything to change. And I'm sure that's going to happen. They're going to be saying, why are we doing this? Oh, that's crazy. But it's not crazy. It's good. And if the Knights of Columbus, if we've got 200 members that can be the kind of the moving influence to help our brother parishioners to say, hey, look, this is really good. And priests. You know, in fact, I have been told early on that there are even a few priests who are dragging their feet a little bit about, why are we doing this? You know? But I tell you what, you know, this is John Paul II, by the way. John Paul II was the initiator of this notion, and of course Benedict XVI is extremely behind this. And I think the American-speaking or the English-speaking countries are the only countries that have kind of veered off of some of the interpretations. You know, for example, real quick, when in Latin, the old Dominus Vobiscum, in the altar book would say, Et cum spiritu tuo. Well, it was the Lord be with you and with your spirit. Well, we don't say that today. You know, when Father Eric or Deacon Freddie or any of the Father Fernando say, the Lord be with you, we say, and also with you. And it's going to take a while to change that, of course, but if you think about it just for the moment, that what the church wants us to do is to get back to what was really said. The Lord be with you and with your spirit. You know, the priest at the Mass, or the officiant at the Mass, is in the person of Jesus. And when the priest was ordained, he was ordained with this special spiritual blessing and counsel to be able to stand there and say, by the power of the Holy Spirit, change this into the body and blood of Jesus. And so the priest has a very special position. And so instead of just saying, you know, hey, you know, he says howdy to you and you say howdy back, that's not the idea. The idea is to say, the Lord be with you and also with that Spirit who is with you, because you are the ordained minister of this Mass. And there's just tons of things that are part of this change, that if we as the Knights of Columbus can kind of collectively get behind the fact that, hey, these are good. And as this gentleman points out, Dr. Edward Suri, listen, you got to listen to this, because it really kind of opens up your thought process to, hey, this is good. This gives us a chance to really revisit the Mass and what it's all about. And, you know, we didn't go into the Mass. All of us in here, I'm sure, go when we're supposed to, and many of us go many more times than that. And we almost get into this rut where, gee, you sit there and you kind of, yeah, this is just normal stuff, but it's not. You know, the Mass is really our faith. And I think that's what this change is all about. And it gives us the chance to think that through and to get behind this effort. And I did bring along, I asked Father Eric if it was okay if I could steal 10 copies from the clutches of the administration building. But I promised that I would either bring $4 back per booklet plus the DVD, or I would bring back the booklet and the DVD. So we have them for sale. And I don't want to make this a commercial thing, because we're not making a bit of profit, but I have 10 of them in here. I dutifully rode these home on my bicycle. Anybody that would like to buy one yet tonight, I have them here. So 1, 2, 3, I already see 3 sold. I bet you we'll sell them all. But if we don't, I was asked by Aida to let her know how many other people would like them, because this is it. I got them all. Okay. One other quick point. This Something Catholic session, this little 10-minute thing, which I'm running into my next minute past it. But David screwed me up, and he didn't get me started on time. We are looking for people who are wanting to step up and do this. But first, you know, we've been doing this little Something Catholic thing for a year and a half or 2 years, whatever it has been. And we've sort of exhausted our volunteer system of people saying, yes, I can get up and talk. And so the question is, and I'm not going to make this into a vote, but the question is, do we want to keep doing this? Do we want to set aside 10 minutes of our meeting after we've had a little time to eat and have a cold one? Do we want to set aside a little time to do this? Or would it be better to do camaraderie ship? You know, just all sit around and say, hi, Joe, how you been? I happen to be of the opinion that it's good if we could keep this up. But what we're going to need is people who are willing to step up and decide that they can do this 10-minute thing. And to that end, Vic and I have talked about it. Vic is he's not here tonight, he apologizes, but Vic is the one who's been negotiating this. with the various people. And we're going to kind of keep doing